Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. With the weight of years of unacknowledged grudges, broken relationships, and the disintegration of a family that had once been a public symbol of unorthodox unity, the courtroom was a furnace of stress. This was no typical day for the Brown family, who are well known to millions of people thanks to the reality show Sister Wives on TLC. The result of decades of financial and emotional entanglements, it was now exposed to a judge who could change their destiny. Meri Brown, Cody Brown's first wife, who had long been portrayed as the family's quiet, unwavering pillar, was at the core of this seismic event. Meri, however, was anything but quiet on this particular day. Armed with proof and determination, she stood upright, prepared to face Cody and reveal the truth that had been simmering beneath the surface for years. With Robin Brown in tears, Cody stunned, and Meri regaining a power she had been denied for too long, the outcome was a verdict that rocked the Sister Wives fandom. Coyote Pass, a huge 14-acre property in Flagstaff, Arizona, was the focal point of the drama. The Brown family bought the site with the intention of constructing a common house for their polygamous family. Despite the difficulties of their multiple marriages, the property was intended to signify their unity and real commitment to one another. However, the dream grew sour as the years went by. Coyote Pass turned into a battlefield and began to represent division rather than unity, poor financial management, and Cody's unequal allocation of resources and love. Meri had made a substantial contribution to the family's overall funds, which were utilized to buy the home, along with Janelle Brown, another of Cody's wives. However, Cody suggested an unfair division of the land, claiming that Meri, who had just one child, should have been given less than his other wives. Meri's court evidence marked a sea change. Sister Wives viewers had been observing her for years as she dealt with the psychological effects of being marginalized in her marriage. Over time, Cody's focus had changed, especially toward Robin, his fourth wife, leaving Meri to struggle with emotions of loneliness and rejection. Meri exposed the financial injustices that reflected her emotional mistreatment in the courtroom. She disclosed that while she had made an equal contribution to the family's common fund, which was used to support the other spouse's children by covering their college tuition and auto expenses, her own child, Leon, was not given the same treatment. Meri's voice was steady, but tinged with years of bitterness as she assertively said, "I paid for Leon's college. I paid for their car payments on my own, without drawing from the family fund." She described a woman who had sacrificed all for the family and yet was excluded from enjoying the rewards. Money was only one aspect of the courtroom drama. Other themes were control, authority, and the dissolution of the patriarchal system that had ruled the Brown family for many years. Meri's charges extended beyond Coyote Pass's uneven distribution. She said that Cody had manipulated finances by diverting resources and money away from her and Janelle and giving them to Robin, his lawful wife. Janelle backed up these assertions and joined Meri in hiring legal counsel to defend their property rights. Similar to Meri, Janelle's testimony focused on Cody's wishy-washy actions and the lack of clarity in the land's titling. Janelle, clearly frustrated, clarified, "The way it's titled, if we were to sell it right now, Meri would get compensated for like an acre and a half of the whole 14. Cody is actually the key to this entire discourse. He is the one listed on every title." The judge listened carefully as Meri and Janelle made their case, backed up by financial records and documentation that revealed the inequities in the family's resource management. On the other hand, Cody seemed unusually quiet. The man who had previously led the family with charm and assurance was now dealing with the fallout from his choices. His attempts to brush Meri and Janelle off as nags during his confessional interviews were foiled by their well-prepared testimony. Cody was sitting next to Robin, who was clearly shaken. Reporters noted her tears and shocked appearance as the verdict was delivered, making her emotional breakdown outside the courthouse the main focus of their coverage. The judge's decision was shocking. Public sources did not completely reveal the verdict specifics, but it was evident that Meri and Janelle had won a big battle. Cody's planned uneven partition of Coyote Pass was overturned by the court, which acknowledged their contributions to the family's finances and decided they were entitled to a fair share. Meri's victory meant more to her than money. It meant regaining her autonomy and self-respect. In a post-court interview, she stated, "I invested a lot of money, time, and energy into this marriage. I received no benefits from it, including alimony or anything else. And that's not what I'm searching for. Therefore, I believe it is just that I keep the real estate investment." The decision signaled the end of Cody's unbridled authority over their joint assets, which was a watershed moment for Meri and the entire Brown family. The consequences of the legal dispute extended beyond the courtroom. Sister Wives fans, especially X, expressed their outrage and support for Meri on social media. As fans praised her transition from the forgotten first wife to a powerful force for justice, posts trending with hashtags like #MeriWins and #SisterWivesDrama were shared. The story of empowerment struck a profound chord, particularly with those who had been watching the show for years and had seen Meri's hardships. On YouTube, one channel declared, "Meri Brown just turned the Sister Wives world upside down," echoing the sentiment of thousands of followers. "We've been waiting for this moment." However, opinions on Robyn's response were divided. Several viewers expressed empathy for her obvious pain, pointing out the strain she was under as Cody's preferred bride in a dysfunctional household. Others believed that her collapse resulted from her involvement in Cody's financial choices. One commenter on X said, "Robyn crying outside the courthouse was a spectacle, but it's hard to feel sorry for her that Meri and Janelle were left out while she benefited from the family fund." Meri's calm strength as she left the courthouse with her head held high, Robyn's tears, and Cody's silence all contributed to the public's curiosity with the case. There were other revelations from the courtroom besides the Coyote Pass conflict. According to information submitted by Meri and Janelle's legal team, Cody and Robyn may have lied under oath regarding the allocation of family cash and misrepresented their financial transactions. Longtime Sister Wives watchers were not totally surprised by these accusations, despite the fact that they were explosive. Over the years, the show has chronicled Cody's changing priorities, especially his preference for Robyn and her kids. From the unfair distribution of finances to the lack of communication over important family decisions, episodes had depicted Meri and Janelle struggling with the emotional and financial consequences of his choices. Meri's explanation of Cody's rationale for not giving her an equal portion of Coyote Pass was one particularly devastating instance. Cody has actually stated this, "I am not entitled to an equal portion of the property because I only have one child," she testified, her voice bearing the weight of years of rejection. This point was reaffirmed by her friend Jen Sullivan, who made an appearance in the show. She reminded Meri that her contributions to the family fund had helped the children of the other women while her own child's needs went unmet. As Jen pointed out the glaring injustice, that money paid for the majority of the kids' colleges, but not Leon's. The courtroom drama also revealed Cody's wider financial mishandling of the family. Meri disclosed that Robyn's children's bills were frequently paid for out of the family fund, which was meant to be a pool of resources, while her own payments were ignored. Janelle agreed, pointing out that they were kept in the dark by Cody's unilateral actions over Coyote Pass and his lack of openness regarding the land's titling. Janelle expressed her frustration, echoing that of many fans who had witnessed Cody's leadership deteriorate over the seasons when she said, "He says something, then you don't hear from him forever." Beyond the courtroom, the verdict's ramifications raised concerns about Sister Wives and the Brown family's future. Although she was conspicuously absent from the court proceedings, Christine Brown, who had split from Cody in 2021 and ceded her share of Coyote Pass in return for her Arizona residence, played a significant role in the story. The drama was made more complex by Cody's admission that he had missed her wedding to David Woolley, which also exposed his lingering sentiments of grief and isolation. In a rare display of vulnerability, he said, "I'm going to be left out of the party, and I do have FOMO." This was in stark contrast to his often contemptuous behavior toward his ex-wives. Robyn's mocking remarks regarding Christine's joy, "We're just so happy for them," she said in an inauthentic tone, further stoked rumors that she was responsible for the family's disintegration. Fans conjectured that Robyn's emotional collapse was caused by the disintegration of the persona she and Cody had meticulously built on Sister Wives, in addition to the verdict. Once portraying a peaceful polygamous household, the show now starkly depicted betrayal, financial conflicts, and court struggles. The court triumph was a liberating moment for Meri. She became a symbol of tenacity after years of being presented as the quiet, devoted wife who put up with Cody's disregard. In addition to obtaining her portion of Coyote Pass, she decided to face Cody in court in order to express her value and regain her voice. Fans who had cheered for her to escape Cody's grip found resonance in her contrite statement, "I've been through too much to let this slide." More than merely land, the ruling gave her closure and the opportunity to leave a marriage that had long stopped working for her. The decision was a vindication for Janelle as well. Meri's emotional testimony was matched by her pragmatic, no-nonsense attitude to the legal struggle, forming a strong alliance that questioned Cody's authority. Together, they revealed the injustices that had afflicted their family for years as well as the shortcomings in his leadership. In court, Janelle emphasized that Cody is the key to the family's emotional and financial instability, saying, "This whole conversation really hinges on Cody." The courtroom spectacle sparked an electrifying public reaction. With headings like, "Meri Brown destroys Cody in court," and "Judge exposes Cody and Robyn melts down," entertainment websites and YouTube channels like Reality Recap and TLC's Next Chapter offered in-depth analyses of the case, garnering millions of views. Utilizing film and comments from Sister Wives episodes, these publications focused on the event's unvarnished, unadulterated truth. Fans shared videos of Robyn's emotional departure from the courts and Meri's testimony, which made the hashtag #SisterWivesDrama trend on X. One person said, "Meri finally got her justice," and included a video of her leaving the courtroom with assurance. The case's media frenzy brought attention to the Brown family's disintegration and its wider cultural appeal. A window into the intricacies of polygamy, family dynamics, and the difficulties of striking a balance between individual wants and group objectives, Sister Wives had always been more than just a reality show. These themes came into stark relief throughout the court struggle, which revealed the family's foundational flaws and raised concerns about how sustainable their way of life was. Many viewers saw Meri's win as a victory for everyone who has ever felt ignored or underappreciated in a relationship, not just for herself. The future of Sister Wives was still up in the air as the dust settled. Would Robyn's breakdowns signal the end of her time in the spotlight, or would she return to the program as some had speculated? Was Cody's empire really collapsing, as one YouTube channel asserted, or could he win back the faith of his surviving family members? For Meri and Janelle, who had battled so valiantly for their portion of Coyote Pass, what did this mean? The answers were still unknown, but one thing was clear. Meri's court appearance had permanently altered the course of events. The decision also made people think about the more general concepts of empowerment and fairness. According to one YouTube video, Meri's transformation from the forgotten first wife to the voice of justice struck a chord with viewers who viewed her as a representation of tenacity. Her story served as a reminder that it was possible to regain control and change one's story even in the face of marginalization and betrayal. The win was a pragmatic one for Janelle, since it guaranteed her financial future and validated her contributions to the family. Together, their legal victories signaled the beginning of a new era for the Brown family, one that was characterized by the tenacity and will of the women who had previously stood in Cody's shadow rather than by his dominance. More than just a legal issue, the Sister Wives courtroom scandal was a reckoning. It revealed the flaws in a family that had enthralled viewers for more than 10 years, as well as the price of Cody's leadership and the tenacity of the women who opposed it. With her head held high, Meri left the courts with a legacy of empowerment in addition to a legal success. Fans celebrated the fact that the Brown family will never be the same again. According to one outlet, Cody Brown's era was finally finished, and a new one had begun, driven by Meri, Janelle, and their unyielding determination.